On the last episode, we ended on how to bring men to their knees. This is going to look differently for everyone, and it has to do with authenticity. You need to figure out what makes you feel the most authentic. I, for myself, have really tapped into that by letting my desires be seen, meaning let them be out there. Let people see you more. And I've been doing that. I've been letting myself be seen, feel seen, being vulnerable, being raw. And not only that, for some reason, tapping into my dominatrix side, being very direct, asking for what I want, making it clear on the apps, has brought in men that want to give to me. I have texts on TikTok from random men that say for some reason, they want to submit to me. And you have to figure out for yourself, what is the most authentic? What do you want? What do you want? And are you acting in alignment to what you want? That literally is the trick. Because the thing is, it has to feel satisfying for you. What's satisfying for me is not going to feel satisfying for you. Just because I'm saying to you, hey, for me, I've tapped into my authentic power. I have men who are trying to submit to me because I am so direct with them and ask them for what I want now, or when I'm upset, I tell them directly. That might not work for you because it has to feel satisfying. Follow the satisfaction. If it does not feel satisfying, or it has to feel like a piece of a puzzle plugging in. You gotta explore your body. Allow yourself to explore even kink apps to figure out what you want. What's interesting about the kink community, and it's not like I'm a part of them, but when I first moved to LA, I was on kink websites because I realized I do not know what I want at all. And it really helped me strip away the shame that tends to come with things like that, and help me figure out, oh, I like this and I like that. And it allowed me to have this open dialogue with other people about what I need. Whatever you want is also available. Whatever you want is available to you, but it's a matter of having the audacity to ask for it, asking for what you want. I think being honest with yourself can be so difficult. A lot of things in my life that I've thought about, that I've done, that I've sort of regretted. When I step aside or when I give myself a moment to think, what if it happened if I was honest with myself? I don't know, we don't have the answer to that, but being honest with myself now, I do my best to try to figure out what the honest thing is for myself, the honest intention for the things I do, even if it doesn't sound right to other people, because that forces alignment to happen. The right people, the right man is there, but it is a matter of being patient and not obsessing and not thinking about these time frames that society creates that they want us to obsess over. I will say another important thing is being so comfortable with doing things alone is so important. Don't feel bad if you see people hanging out all the time, especially when you step outside on a Friday or Saturday, whatever it may be, and you see a lot of the connections that people make, they're not even happy to be there, they're not present. And I'm not saying authentic relationships don't exist, they totally exist. I know they exist, but there is a lot of illusions out there that make you think that you're missing out on something. I was just having this discussion with someone today and even yesterday, where something that a lot of people mention is, oh, on the apps there's so many choices, we're just bombarded with so many choices all day, every day. And I told both these people that actually that is not true. We do not have choices. We think that we have these infinite choices, but in reality, if we sit down and think about who we're actually compatible with, who we actually have chemistry with, who gives us life, it's not a lot of people. And if we remember that, number one, we will remember that the FOMO thing is also illusion, and it's not real. A lot of things that we see are not as what they appear to be. A lot of people who are married that we see are not happy, and That is to say, again, if I must reiterate, they exist. I'm sure they exist, right? But a lot of people's circumstances is not that. There are people sleeping in separate bedrooms. That could also be a good thing, but separate bedrooms in terms of being roommates, hating their partner, hating their friends, and blah blah blah. Right now, if the right people have not shown up in your life, that means focus on yourself. Focus on bettering your body. You don't have anywhere to go on a Friday, on a Saturday. Take a walk, take a long walk. Use this opportunity to be alone. Do you know how many people who are married and have kids would die to have that alone time? A time to give back to themselves. Use that time to do that. Because I think what's really important about bringing so-called men to their knees is the feeling of independence, the feeling of detachment, the feeling of I do not need you. I don't need you. I actually don't really need anyone. It's a plus if I have you, but I'm actually doing incredible without you. I'm doing great. People can sense these things. People can sense it, and it's something everyone admires, even though they might not talk about it. And you carry yourself differently when you're completely comfortable moving in different spaces alone, harnessing what desires that you have, really connecting with whatever desire it may be, regardless of what society might think of it, and feeling 100% comfortable. It's not obviously going to feel comfortable initially. Anything new is going to feel uncomfortable, but getting to a point where you can take yourself into different spaces alone with your head held high. You might do it kicking and screaming the first time, but eventually it will get better. But things like that are so important because it avoids desperation. It avoids getting into the wrong relationships. And as women, we have to be more careful. We don't have the same consequences that men have. We don't, and this is a fact. I really want you guys to do the exercise that I talked about yesterday or before yesterday. I think I mentioned it in the past 3 videos that I've done. I really think it's important. Make sure you do the energetic alignment exercises that I talked about. That will really help you. And I think I had talked about something else in another video about limerence. Also check that out. Bringing men to their knees is about not how you dress. It's not about having the perfect button nose, perfect boobs, perfect ass. If anything, honestly, I truly feel those are deterrents. I truly feel they are deterrents because once that trend fades, you're gonna feel stupid. You're gonna feel stupid for changing your nose, your ass, your boobs, whatever. I think it's totally fine to do those things if you truly want to do them. I think it's okay, but that's where honesty comes in. If you're doing it to be the ideal version of what society considers to be beautiful, you're shooting yourself. You're gonna attract the wrong people. You're always gonna have this feeling of not trusting your partner because you think once your looks change and once society's views change, will his views change as well? There are certain things in life that you have to be really firm on, unmovable, unshakable, like a tree. Trends can come, go, pass. Men can come, go, pass. Life can hit you several type of ways, but being like a tree and being unmovable in certain things is so crucial. And especially your body, the way you look. Your body is your vehicle into this life. And how dare anyone tell you how you should be looking, how you should be using your body. It's no one's business. It's no one's business. It might seem like a contradiction because I just said about the surgeries, but remember I said, if this influence is coming from trying to impress someone, that's not you being unshakable, that's you being malleable, right? Bringing people to their knees is about collecting back all the energy that you have given away, consciously, subconsciously, whether you know it or not, and returning it back into yourself. It's hypnotic. It's absolutely hypnotic, but it takes work. It takes being a lone wolf. It takes doing all of that. You can't spend your time 9 to 5 every day with other people. And I'm not saying you shouldn't have a community. I'm not saying, but it's very difficult to do that if you're constantly interacting with people. It takes being alone. It takes being alone for your presence to be felt. Because you're sitting with yourself in the uncomfortableness and moving in a world where they're telling you that that's not okay. If you're able to still do it, that's power. And then eventually you get to a point where you'll have no issue being direct with people with what you want from men, being direct in friendship, being direct at your job, letting your desires be seen, because you start to realize how weak people can be, how weak and influenced people actually are. And so when you spend that time to really understand and pull the energy back into yourself, you just become powerful, and it can be felt. There are no shortcuts, unfortunately. This is the work. This is the work.